Hey Kentucky, welcome back. It's time to talk more topics. First up, the Bluegrass State gets low marks in a new report on how states are handling the pandemic. TheTruthAboutInsurance.com ranks Kentucky the 9th least responsible state when it comes to preventing the spread of COVID-19. It finds only 32% of Kentuckians are wearing masks, just over 20% are sheltering in place. The survey also looks at the state's number of COVID-19 tests, with about 7,500 tests per 100,000 people. Ohio is at number 4, and Indiana is the 5th most irresponsible. New York comes in as the most responsible. Keith, this is not an encouraging place for Kentucky to be as we deal with this new round of cases.
Yeah, and you're talking about the states around us that we're bordering that are having issues as well. Kind of disappointing, and don't tell Andy this because, you know, he's not going to like hearing those numbers.
No, they definitely need to get those numbers up. Well, some small-scale food producers in Kentucky worry that a proposal to raise permitting fees could put them out of business. The Kentucky Department of Public Health is considering changing the fees for food inspection for nearly 550 producers. For example, the owner of Southdown Farm in Letcher County says if the regulation is approved, it will raise the yearly fee to inspect their sugar shack from $120 to more than $1,300. That's an increase of 1,035%. Keith, this is a high price for many of these small businesses that are already struggling.
And when you talk about a place like this in eastern Kentucky, they're doing all they can to survive, making jobs and coming up with ideas, you know, after the coal industry was kind of left out, and look what they're doing. And now all of a sudden it may get shut down because they're going to have to pay more. Luckily for them, the Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles is already saying he's going to fight this.
Right, because it would be a big hit for these small businesses.
Oh,
well, as college football conferences look at whether they'll play outside their leagues this season, Louisville's coach hopes the coronavirus does not cancel the annual Governor's Cup game with Kentucky. Coach Scott Satterfield says it's a great rivalry game that the Cards look forward to every year. It hasn't been much of a contest the last 2 seasons, though, with UK steamrolling U of L by a combined score of 101-23. And Keith, UK leads the series 17-15. What do you think? Do you think they can find a way to make this game happen?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to, especially like Georgia Tech and Georgia like playing each other. So I think they're trying to make it where there's at least maybe one non-conference game. I'm not sure Scott Satterfield really meant that he wants this game going on, at least not right now. He'd love to have 1 year off to keep building up his recruits.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you don't want to get cocky if you're True Blue fans, because we've seen the shoe on the other foot as well, and Louisville's had some dominant times too.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, former Kentucky high school football star Damien Harris returned to Richmond to give his mother a birthday gift she'll never forget. The former Madison Southern star and current New England Patriots running back gave his mom, Lynn, a brand new Jaguar F-Pace. She was in tears as she removed the blindfold to see her surprise. Keith, he has a $3.6 million contract, so good to see he is putting his money to good use for all his mom has done and sacrificed for him.
Such a nice gift. And my mom actually taught him in 5th grade, and she talked about what a sweet kid he was back then, and obviously still is now, because that was just a sweet gesture right there.
Yeah, and he said he's going to honor his mom every day, and this is just one way to do that, so that's super. Well, former UK player Yinz Gabriel's war of words with True Blue fans, we told you about that earlier this week, but the Portland Trailblazers player is getting some good publicity for a generous gift. He forgot his wallet in an Uber driver's car a few months ago. The driver returned it, and Wenyan gave him $100. And Keith, after learning the driver is disabled and at risk during this pandemic, Wenyan sent him another $2,500. So what a generous gift.
Oh, I mean, what better way to get back on the good graces of True Blue fans than to do something like that? Although, from his words earlier this week, I'm not sure he really cares about what we think.
No, but good to see he's doing something great. Well, tonight's wrap-up is next on Hey Kentucky.